had a love affair with that song.
It made me little hair stand on my end, so that's the hit record.
Sometimes you fall out with the person you love, and I fell out with Kids in America for quite some time.
I said, what do you remember most about Kids in America? And he went, "The Kids in America, oh."
It's got a great hook. You can play it again and again, which is what good pop music must be. And it's got a gorgeous girl singing the lyrics.
So my lyrics mean nothing, really.
We were very, very hungry, and we knew exactly what we wanted.
I was a lot more ambitious than I probably let on.
Looking out a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here alone and I wonder why. Friday night and everyone's moving. I can feel the heat, but it's soothing heading down. I search for the beat in this dirty downtown. Leon, what's I going? Downtown Leon, what's I going? We're the kids in America. Whoa. We're the kids in America. Whoa. Everybody live for the music around.
Kids in America er engelske Kim Wildes første og største hit. En moderne klassiker, som i 1981 gør en 20-årig pige med et mystisk blik til ikon for et årti. Hende, pigerne vil ligne og drengene vil kysse. Kids in America skrives af Kim Wildes far Marty Wilde, som var teenageidol i 50'erne, og af hendes lillebror, barnestjernen Ricky Wilde. Og det er et rent tilfælde, at Kim Wilde ender med at synge sangen. Det er 30 år siden Kids in America udkom, den dag Kim og Ricky Wilde ankommer til RAG-studiet i Nord-London, der hvor det hele startede.
Always a very exciting time walking into this place, because you always felt there was magic about to happen, and it just felt so vibey. This very person, Jenny, would be sitting at the front. All these years later, she's still here, beavering away like she always has done, and yeah, all these lovely gold Ampex awards.
Kim Wilde bliver den engelske kvinde, som får flest hits i 80'erne. Men den imponerende rekord er drømme og ren fantasi, da hun som ung amatør møder op til sin første videooptagelse.
She turned up with her brother and brought her own clothes and her own jacket and that famous T-shirt. Everybody remembers that T-shirt. And looked at the set and was very shy. I always remember that.
There were all these people there, and runners and cameras and lights and makeup people.
And she said, "So tell me exactly what you want me to do." And I sort of looked at her a bit strange. I said, "Well, just sing the song." And she just sort of whispered, "Look, I've never done anything like this before, ever." I was a backing singer, and I panicked straight away. Got a big film crew there, all this stuff, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this girl has never performed, ever.
He had a young 20-year-old on his hands who didn't know really what was going on.
Each time we have a quarrel, it almost breaks my heart.
'Cause I am so afraid that we will have to part. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love?
I was always, Marty Wilde's daughter, and so I was used to people kind of making double takes, noticing me, pointing me out. So when it started happening to me, it wasn't such a culture shock.
Kim vokser op med berømte forældre. Mor Joyce Wilde er medlem af dansegruppen The Vernon Girls, og Marty Wilde er en af verdens allerførste popstjerner. Det er Marty Wilde og Cliff Richard, som pigerne skriger efter i England i starten af 60'erne.
Rubber Ball and Marty Wilde. Bouncy, 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 bouncy.
I didn't really want Kim to be a pop star. I didn't want Kim in the industry because I think it's a tough industry. I wanted Kim to have a long career. And I wanted Kim to be happy. That was the foremost thing.
This is when Ricky and I first got an idea that perhaps we could make sweet music together. So look, you must have only been about 1 and I was about 2. You see how protective I am. I've always got my arms round him, looking after him. There again. Big old arm.
Egentlig er det Kim Wildes lillebror, som er det musikalske talent. Ricky Wilde har som 11-årig et hit med sangen I Am an Astronaut.
I am an astronaut. I am an astronaut.
All the focus was about Ricky Wilde being famous and being a pop star. There was Donny Osmond, there was David Cassidy, young showbiz kids. I mean, of course, Michael Jackson being the youngest of all of them. And in the UK, there was Ricky Wilde.
He's a real con man. Yeah, that's what I am.
I did backing vocals on I'm an Astronaut with my mum. So that was the first hit record that I was involved in singing on. And I remember at the time, I think I probably was a little bit jealous. He knew how to look cute. Look at that. He wasn't really prepared for it. How could he be? You know, how could he be at 11 years old?
I think I was too young, to be honest with you. I was only 11.
He was picked on at school and teased, kind of predictably. And which is one of the reasons I think he left school so soon.
Because I was in all the girly papers and I got a bit of stick, and I thought, well, that's the downside, and you know, the upside was having a great time doing it, but the downside was all the crap you got with it. And I thought, well, I don't really want to be famous, but I want to make records, and I want to produce, and I want to write, you know.
I just didn't think it was for me in the family. I mean, the focus was on Ricky, and so I had to go somewhere else.
Kim starter på kunstskole, mens Ricky dropper ud af skolen, spiller med sin fars band og drømmer om en karriere som sangskriver og producer.
I'd come up with 3 or 4 tracks that I was really particularly happy with. So then I had a chat with Dad, and I said, you know, who should I approach? And my dad said, well, he'd done a lot of work with Mickey Most, and I'd seen a lot of Mickey Most on the TV. He used to front a program which was in those days similar to the X Factor, but it was called New Faces, and Mickey was the main man.
It's the New Faces All Winners Show.
This is our panel tonight. Mickey Most. And beside Mickey Most...
Ricky Wilde kontakter topproducer Mickey Most og bliver kaldt ind til et møde med manden, som har spottet talenter som blandt andre The Animals og Hot Chocolate.
It just feels like yesterday that I was walking up these very stairs for the first time. Quite an impressive room, and especially at the age of 18 when you come up here and it's like, wow, this is what I want, you know. And Mickey used to sit in that chair, king of the castle, and we used to be sitting down here. So he was always above us. And I'd be like that. He said, whilst I think the songs are quite good, because I was singing these at the time, I'd like to take you into my studio, but with another producer.
Selvom Ricky Wildes drøm er selv at producere, kender han sin plads og sætter sig ved siden af og ser på. Men midt i sessionen kommer han med et forslag, som ændrer alt, da han siger,
I'm hearing some girl backing vocals on this track. Do you mind if I bring my sister in? So Steve said, by all means, if she can sing, you know, bring her in, no problem.
I was so envious in a way. I just thought, oh, I want to be part of this. I could see Ricky was really had caused a lot of excitement here, and Mickey was so taken by because he was so young. You were only just 18, weren't you? Mm. And I said, oh, okay, I'll be there doing the backing vocals.
And Kimmy went into the studio, and while she was singing, Mickey came in halfway through the session and saw Kim and heard her, and he sort of reached over to Steve and had a quiet word in his ear, and I'm kind of like listening. And he said, she looks really good. I think we could do something with Kim. She looks good. She's got a good voice. Maybe you could go in, Steve, and do something with her.
Mickey Most har på få sekunder set lyset i Rickys søster.
And that's when Mickey saw me and thought I was popstar material.
Ricky Wilde ser sit livs chance, og han ved, at han skal handle hurtigt, så produceren Steven ikke snupper hans søster. Samme aften i Hertfordshire, hjemvendt fra London, involverer han sin far.
I said to Dad, look, this is an opportunity here, because I know Mickey really likes Kim and likes her voice. And I really want to sort of get in and pip Steve Glenn to the post and produce and write a song for her. So he said, come on then. So the two of us sat down and we wrote Kids in America. It happened incredibly quickly, about less than an hour. Kim wasn't there at all. That was just me and Dad trying to come up with the song as the vehicle to get Kim up here singing her own song for Mickey.
It was a team effort. It definitely was. Rick was the main man in my eyes.
We wrote the song in our front room. I had this little synth called a wasp synth. You press one button and you could get a rhythm, so you just get the LFO happening, so go bum 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 bum, and that was the inspiration towards the intro. At the time I was very much into Gary Newman and hearing all those bass lines that he used to have.
We are so fragile, advertising lies that are whiter than yours.
Looking out a dirty old window, da 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 da. I got that da da da, which is very Gary Newman.
Down in the park where the Macmen meet the machines and play kill by numbers.
Looking out a dirty old wind. It kind of just fitted.
But we didn't have the title We're the Kids in America at that moment. It was just a da 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 da.
The song title is the most important thing at first. It is something that's a little bit different, something that's got an edge to it.
Bless Dad, he's the one who came up with the title. We were in the studio, we had everything but the title pretty much. And he goes, what about Kids in America? That's the one, that'll do. Lovely.
We're the kids in America, whoa. Because that would have been a brass part normally, or a guitar stab. But it sounded better with voices, so we put the voices in. And it's one of the things that grabs the audience. That's the bit. Up go the hand, you know, whoa.
Kids in America skrives i 1980. Ricky Wilde er et barn af sin tid. Et barn af synthesizer, new wave og punk. Men han er også fars dreng og har den gode melodi i blodet.
I was kind of caught in a bit of a conundrum where I loved the punk side of stuff, but I loved a good tune as well. So all my writing had the vibe of punk, but it was actually it's pure pop, really.
Den hellige trekant Marty, Ricky og Kim Wilde har på få dage skrevet og indspillet en popsang, som nu skal præsenteres for pladeselskabsmanden og talentspotteren Mickey Most.
And I was really pleased with that. I thought this is sounding really cool, and brought the master up to Mickey, and went into his room. I said, Mickey, I've got a track that I've done with Kim, and I want you to have a listen and see what you think. And he put it on, and the moment it finished, he said, Rick, that is a smash hit record. And I just felt $1 million.
Ricky Wilde ser øjeblikkeligt sit navn på væggen i Rack, men så siger Mickey Most.
But I think it needs remixing. Mickey and I remixed Kids in America in this very studio, on this very desk.
It's the same curtains, same lino on the steps coming up to the studio, the same, just everything's the same. I don't even think they've given it a lick of paint, have they?
It still feels like Mickey's going to walk in, doesn't it?
Yeah, these are from Studio 2 with Mickey looking over the desk here at a very young Ricky, who only, just 18 or something, weren't you?
Yes.
Picture Dad when he was lying down. Dad, because Dad used to be in the studio with us all the time. He'd be lying there with his cigarette and his cowboy hat, just listening to the music.
This is exactly what it was like as well. I'd be sitting here waiting for it to go down. There she is. And then he used to hit the button, and that used to go through to her headphones, and we used to converse and have chats about ideas and harmonies.
So this is where I would stand, because obviously Ricky had to see me and I had to see him.
I think he might have thought, I'd like to have done something myself. But once he realised that he was involved, then it didn't matter, really.
By that time, Ricky was really glad to take a back seat.
It was pure relief, I have to say. There was no jealousy at all.
Der går et år fra Kids in America skrives til sangen udkommer. Og mens Ricky tvinger sig selv til at arbejde og skrive hits, forbereder Kim sig på at blive popstjerne.
I didn't have much money, and I was never very good at asking Mum and Dad for money, because I was always such an independent girl, and my pride wouldn't let me, so I used to spend a lot of money, a lot of time in Oxfam shops getting second-hand clothes. The striped satin shirt was actually from a jumble sale. And there's the Oxfam shop. I used to spend a bit of time in there. It's changed quite a lot, actually. I think they've revamped it.
Come closer, honey, that's better. Got to get a brand new experience, feeling right.
Da Kids in America udkommer 26. januar 1981, er musikvideoer noget helt nyt, og musikvideokanalen MTV er endnu ikke startet. Men da singlen racer op ad hitlisten, beslutter Mickie Most, at der skal laves en video nu og her, for at vise pigen bag stemmen, som endnu ingen har set. Brian Grant får en dag til at lave en video til Kids in America med en sanger, som aldrig har stået foran et kamera.
I got the first assistant to take the crew to the local pub, and I got another assistant to get me a bottle of wine, and I went into Kim's dressing room with her, and I sat down and I made her drink a bottle of wine, basically, to relax her.
He got a few glasses of wine down me. I think he tried to see if I would have something stronger, but I wasn't interested.
I don't think she was a little tipsy. I think she was relaxed. The beginning, it's just a bunch of Venetian blinds, and we were trying to set up a sort of mysterious opening to it. That slash of light across her eyes is just to emphasise her beautiful eyes.
Sit here alone and I wonder why. Friday night and everyone's moving.
The one thing about Kim is that she sort of learnt, and it was obvious to me when we were shooting this, that she knew how to flirt with the camera.
Steady downtown Leon was I going. Downtown Leon was I going. With the kids in America.
It's the set, they're iconic American images. That's Sergeant Bilko and the Statue of Liberty.
Bright lights and music gets faster. Look, boy, don't check on your watch, not another glance. I'm not leaving now, honey, not a chance.
She sort of learnt very quickly how to treat the camera like a man. She sort of flirts with it. It's great.
Baby, you'll be saying never mind. You know life is cruel, life is never kind. Hearts will make a new story. Kind hearts will gravity glory. With the kids in America.
The famous striped T-shirt. That's very famous, that T-shirt. Everybody remembers the T-shirt.
For the music around.
Now, this little sequence was, I can't remember what this idea was. It was sort of about being in a bed sit and being obsessed by watching the television and being obsessed with thinking about America, I think. And that is Ricky, that's her brother. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Ooh, it's like falling out.
Outside suburbia sprawling.
It was all about being a little parochial girl in England and being obsessed with America, having seen lots of American imagery. Because we sort of in England, we're bombarded with American imagery, and it seemed to me that that might be a way of linking them together.
With the kids in America. With the kids in America. Everybody lives for the music around.
Very sexy girl, Kim. Absolutely, camera loves her, you know, which is a great boost. That's Ricky, that's her brother. Again, we shot this in one afternoon, I think, from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 6 o'clock. And again, every time she looks at the camera, she's like she's flirting with you. It's really interesting. And I think this was a really quickly became a big hit and launched her career. There you go. Freeze frame at the end. Gorgeous Kim Wilde.
På denne dag, med vin i blodet, lærer Kim Wilde alt det, der gør hende til et ikon.
I spent all day gazing into this camera and instinctively knew how to send it messages.
She learned how to flirt with the camera, and I think it's quite endearing that she's not in your face. There's something sort of quite mysterious about her, you know, I always thought. Quite distant.
I had a bit of an idea, of course, because I'd watched lots of Adam Ant videos, and I thought, well, all you have to do is pose at the right angle and pout a lot. I figured if I did that, I'd be okay. Luckily, I had a mouth that was good for pouting. I was absolutely convinced I was in the right place at the right time. I had the sort of arrogance that you have when you're 20 and think you know everything, and you haven't had many of life's knocks.
It was just wonderful to see Kim change from being a little girl with little peg teeth. She just suddenly, overnight, just went into this amazing, beautiful woman.
I had been itching for it since I was a very young child. I did school, I did art college, and then all of a sudden, bang. It was what I always wanted, and it came at just the right time.
Whenever we did Top of the Pops or anything else like that, she just turned up and looked herself, you know. She just sort of put on a T-shirt and a pair of jeans and a jacket, and it worked.
Alan James laver promotion for Kim Wilde og husker tydeligt, at han kunne lide sangen med det samme, og at den blev endnu bedre, da Kim kom ind ad døren.
There was this iconic sort of look about her that was dead simple. The girl next door with sex appeal. That girls went, yeah, I can look like her. I know she's sexy. I know she's great. She looks like that. And I know my boyfriend fancies her, but I'm not threatened. Because, you know, girls are the biggest buyers of singles. They were then, they still are now. And that was an amazing selling point.
Kims image er en stor del af succesen. Det er opbygget af videoen og af attituden i teksten, som hendes far skriver.
I liked that the song had a lot of attitude. It suited me.
Hverken Kim eller Ricky har spurgt deres far om teksten, men Marty husker tydeligt, at han blev inspireret til titlen og sangens stemning af en tv-dokumentar om amerikanske unge, som var fuldstændig ligeglade med verden omkring dem.
The line of kind hearts don't grab any glory. Kind hearts don't make a new story. And that really reverted back to what I saw in these kids. You won't make headlines in a newspaper by being a really nice person. If you want to make headlines, you've got to murder someone or you've got to do something quite tough, quite aggressive. Kim wasn't as heartless like the kids that I saw in America, but she was very single-minded and she was boss. She was boss girl. She knew what she wanted. So you couldn't have a song that was like, would you take me out tonight for a nice cup of tea or something? It had to be something that was almost aggressive. The song comes out quite, not lightweight, but it comes out as in a much lighter vein. You know, we're the kids.
Image er alt, og et lille foto af Kim får også stor betydning, da singlen skal præsenteres for Englands vigtigste radiostation.
In those days, we used to be able to sort of go with a record instantly. The main guy we targeted was the breakfast DJ of Radio 1 at the time. So we went straight up after the show finished at 9 o'clock. We went into and see him at 9:05 in the morning and just whacked this record on the desk and said, listen, trust us, put it on. Just listen to it. And him and his producer put it on and just went, yeah, okay, well, yeah, I can't deny this. And then we just whacked, and they said, who is it? So we said, this is this new girl, this new band called Kim Wilde. Okay, and Dave and I just whacked a photograph of Kim down. You know, just a cute little photograph, and you saw the DJ go, oh, all right then, okay, record of the week next week.
Kids in America er et øjeblikkeligt hit og sælger så mange singler de første uger, at den bliver hævet af listen, fordi man tror, der er snyd indblandet. Efter 8 uger har englænderne købt 508.234 singler.
I think the moment we did the first Top of the Pops, and that's when I really knew that we'd cracked it.
Looking out a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here alone and I wonder why.
It was an institution. It was like the pinnacle of pop. If you were on Top of the Pops, you'd made it. It was number 2 over here, but it was number 1 pretty much everywhere else.
Some people are really good at saving people's lives. I was really good at being a pop star.
You had to be here, you had to be there, you were flying here, flying there, TVs, interviews. It was just non-stop. And,
it was a whirlwind.
You didn't have time to sort of analyse it or or enjoy it particularly. Even it was just all work. I don't think we even had time to celebrate.
We didn't.
I don't remember any moment sitting down and actually celebrating anything. It was just...
We didn't do that for years, and even then when we did, I think we just went down to the Indian restaurant.
Yeah, the local Ruby.
I'd be all over the place with people popping champagne left, right and centre. But, you know, poor old Ricky'd be here grafted away, still trying to come up with another hit record. We were given one of these each, and I have them up in my home now. I didn't for years. I kept them in a cupboard for years. I only recently put them up in the last three years or so.
Ricky og Kim Wilde fortsætter deres karriere og leverer det ene hit efter det andet. Og uanset hvor de er, så kræves det, at de spiller sangen, som de slog igennem med. Og pludselig er der gået 16 år, og Kim Wilde har fået nok.
I got to the point when I was 36 that I started looking for something else to happen. I think I was kind of bored. I've been doing the same thing, recording, promoting and travelling. I know it sounds, really ungrateful, but basically I've been doing the same thing for 15, 16 years.
Kim stopper sin karriere og bliver gift og får børn. Hun slår op med sin første store kærlighed, Kids in America.
I loved it. I thought, what a great record. But of course, by the time I got to 36, I had a slightly different relationship with Kids in America, and it felt like the song that was always holding me back in a way, that wouldn't allow me to move forward.
I sit here alone and I wonder why.
I'd lost one career. I went back to college to study a little bit, to find out how to make a little garden. And all of a sudden was born my next grand passion.
Kim Wildes nye passion er landskabs- og havearkitektur. Pludselig ser englænderne 80'er-ikonet med det sexede, mystiske blik i havebøger og haveprogrammer på tv.
I had no great desire to sing Kids in America again. I'd done it for such a long time. I was on to new pastures. It was wonderful memory, but thank you and good night.
Looking at a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by.
When I got asked to do 80s concerts again and sing it again, I was fairly reluctant. It took me a few years to get to say yes to all of that. And then when I did, it was the audience that helped me to fall back in love with Kids in America by still loving it and by still wanting me to be there singing it for them. So I have a lot to thank the public for. They got me back in touch with a song that I had very mixed feelings about, but now I just love completely, just absolutely and without reservation, and still love singing more than ever. But I'm glad I had the break. If I hadn't had, I had many years where I didn't sing Kids in America. So yeah, the love affair's back on.